discipline. So, Doc, I expected you straight away to condemn it fully, and not to be talking for the past 15 minutes. You know, it was so wrong. This is the first gentleman of the country. Let's not make it NDC MPP. No. What is wrong is wrong. What is wrong is wrong.
Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
Them, I get very worried. Moro, please, everywhere in the world, when the police get you, they say that you have the right to remain silent, Moro, and that anything you say can be used against you. And so for those watching, I am here to let you know that Ghana police got this ready to say I have done wrong when there was nobody to speak for her. It's a shame. It's a very big shame.
You mean at the time Camilla was arrested by the police?
Yeah.
She was asked whether she was guilty or innocent even before her lawyers had attended to her.
Yes.
And you know this for a fact.
Come on, I'm telling you.
Are you sure?
Come on, I'm telling you. I said they should come and disprove Okoe. And you know what? Do you know why they give body cams to police officers? It's because when a police officer makes a claim about a citizen, the courts don't swallow it unless there's evidence.
Right.
And they don't swallow it because they know your objective is to jail her, whereas the civil liberties is to make sure that she's treated right. Is Ghana police having a recording of their engagement with Camilla? I challenge the Ghana police. Do you know why they will not give you a recording? Look, it's alleged that even there was mistreatment, but I will not focus on that. People can allege because you did all the things you secured from her in terms of confessions in the dark.
Did her lawyer raise these issues in court?
Now let me come to the next fact.
Okay.
Lawyers for Camilla, when they showed up in court on Monday, put forward a motion to try and restate her plea that she's moving from guilty to what? Not what? Guilty.
Because she said the guilt out of duress.
That is
so,
of course, yes.
So they want to give her another opportunity to state it.
Absolute.
And what did she say?
When they put that before the judge, a date was given for them to take and to go through that motion. Before they would go into the motion, of course, when you go and file those things, it's not the judge you file, it's the registry. When they appeared in court, the judge and the prosecution said that because she's admitted to the wrong, they are going ahead to write the judgment on her.
How?
That's what happened.
Oh, but that's bizarre.
Yes.
Well, sure.
Bro.
The judge didn't give the lawyer and Camilla the opportunity to restate their case.
In the first place, my point here is that the confession is invalid and void because it was made in the absence of
because of the circumstances surrounding the confession.
And I'm also putting it on authority that there was an attempt and effort to restate her plea. Well,
wow.
Let me say on this show, Okoe speaking like this is actually speaking for those, with all due respect, my brothers and sisters who are in the NDC. Well, do you know why?
Why?
Because some few years to come, if anybody in my party gets hold of their Moro, you don't need to call me here. What would you do? You just play this my voice. I am going to speak and defend every Ghanaian, whether they are NDC or MPP, when I see someone using state authority to intimidate them. Moro, and I feel sad. I saw a video where people start to bring old videos of people who were arrested because of what he said. Those comments and actions by our government, even if they happen, were things that brought us in bad light and ultimately put us in opposition. And I want to conclude my submission with two things. Speaking loosely about President Mahama or any leader is not correct. But please, you cannot have a homogeneous society. There are people who, by the way they were raised, who by how they were formed, they don't talk like Moro and I. Your cure for dealing with those people is not to put handcuffs on them, send them in a jail, waste their life, and even threaten their lives. It's not the way. It's to take them through civil action. And more, the other one, Ghana police. I have said this and I'll say it before. We must come to a place where the head of the police is not chosen by the president. I'm speaking deep. Psychologically, when a man is made by another man, he has some allegiance to that person. And this is not to you. Any IGP who has ever been appointed has some connection or some allegiance to the appointer. It's a natural phenomenon. So we have a situation where when you insult or touch the employer, the boss, appointees can get anxious and jittery. Otherwise, why would even police, I've seen a statement released by police that a lady who was on TikTok who insulted President Obama has been successfully prosecuted. And they also want to add that they will be going to the High Court to go and follow a case of false news. Can you imagine the Ghana Police Service investing resources, sending people in a vehicle to be going to High Court following this lady for the thing she said? Wow. Where are we going as a country? Moro. All right. So, Moro, I want to conclude by saying that Honorable is here. The things that make people vote for them, they are weighty matters. Moro, as we are on the show this morning, there's a family watching us. What they are getting, teachers, the conditions is not sufficient to break even. This morning on your show, people are watching who are finding job, they are struggling. They put their hope in John Mahama and the NDC so that they will deal with these weighty matters. Okay. Moro, there is something called an opportunity cost. The energy with which officials of government are using IP addresses to be looking at where social media guys are, tracking them, taking them to court. If that energy is channeled into dealing with unemployment and other issues, a lot of people will be happy with the government. And I'll conclude by restating that I don't subscribe to reckless comments. Okay. But the way to deal with them is not to jail your citizens. All right.
Honorable.
Thank you very much,
yes.
Moro. But I'm glad that my good brother, Honorable Kofi, acknowledged that this kind of arrest didn't start in 2025. And I'm sure people like Captain Smart and Kwabena Bobiansa, and even Collins Dandaba Senior, are happy that he acknowledges that. But I'm so surprised that he didn't start with a straight away condemnation of the video. My brother, have you seen the video? Have you had a chance to listen and watch what this lady said? And Moro, I must applaud you for that. Every person that hears or watches the video must condemn it straight away. And if I had my way, I would have even beseeched the Ministry of Communication, if they could, to even take it off TikTok. I mean, I said that before democracy, before politics, the values as a Ghanaian is there, the traditional values. And that is what makes us unique. The cultural values, respect for your elders, discipline. You know? And that is it. This democracy of ours cannot thrive without discipline. So, Doc, I expected you straight away to condemn it fully, and not to be talking for the past 15 minutes. You know? It was so wrong. This is the first gentleman of the country. Let's not make it NDC MPP. No. What is wrong is wrong. What is wrong is wrong. I mean, the allegations he made. You know? Who does that? And Okoe says that there's no country in the world that fights such indiscipline. We go to Singapore, we celebrate Singapore. We go to places like India and others. You can't do this in Singapore. You cannot do this in Singapore. Discipline, it's something that we must not compromise. We cannot. So I'm telling you, there are a whole lot of countries where such utterances cannot be made. Yes, Article 21A protects freedom of speech, you know, but the same constitution also protects the right and reputation of others. I mean, even if these comments were not attributed to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, even if it was attributed to me as a member of parliament, or you as a former MP, even to you, Omoro, you would have been wrong in the first place. Wrong. So let's not have discussions. I mean, let's condemn it, because I always say, I maintain that as a student of politics, we say that we must at all times protect this democracy of ours. Because I say that no matter how bad it is better than a military rule. But I just don't understand why we should even be drawing partisan politics as to whether we are for it or not in this case. Well, I say that everything that has to do with the courts of this country must be respected. I mean, Okoe cannot tell me that he as an individual can be more smart, or let's say be able to adjudicate or separate right from wrongs than a law court of this country. We are members of parliament. We make laws for this country to run. And so when there's a ruling from the court, it must be respected. Like I said, freedom of speech is a constitutional right, but it's not limited, it's not an unlimited license to violate the law. I mean, I want to believe that where this lady is as we speak, she has come to realize that her comments were just crude and were just unprofessional and also unacceptable in all terms. And I'm sure if you should send the mics to her this time around, she will tell you that she has regretted fully. Moreover, I maintain that technology is a platform where we can build development. TikTok or social media cannot be a free space for whatever we want to do. And that is why there's a message I always want to carry that. See, the Ministry of Communication must take advantage of the WhatsApp state or the TikTok speech for us to have some content that promotes patriotism and others. More, you go to China, there's a dedicated channel that tells the story of China from their struggles to where they are. And it builds patriotism in our people. Because, you know, if we leave the space, this is some of the utterances and happenings that we'll be seeing. TikTok is where 80%, 90% of our youth spend their time. So we have to take advantage of it and create a content where people can be imbibed with patriotism, because we have to first be patriotic as a country to ensure that this country moves on. Let me take the issues one by one. First of all, what I want to say is that this thing, like I said, it was by the court of jurisdiction that came with this ruling. And Okoe, being a student of law, I believe, should have, if he has any issue, I mean, comment the court, or not to say that, not to bring partisan politics in it. You know, like I said, the respect for the rule of law. Well, if we want to develop as a nation, the respect for rule of law must be paramount. And every ruling that comes to court, if you have an issue with it, that is why there's room for appeal. I'm surprised that he's able to say that this lady, whatever the plea she went for, she might have been forced, or she might have been under duress. Okoe, I want to challenge you on that. No. I want to challenge you on that. And I believe the police, if they are watching, will be able to come out with a statement. You know? And like I said, the respect for state institutions also must be there. Well, as an MP, the last thing I would do is to try to compromise the work of the Ghana police. I'm not sure Doc would have been saying this 2 years ago or 4 years ago when they were in power. The Ghana police have been professional in their doings, and we must commend them and find ways to even make them do more. Because like you said, the democracy of this country is also built on a professional police force. Moreover, see, equality before the law. You cannot say that because somebody maybe was not brought up properly, so the person must be allowed to speak anyhow. And more, it's becoming one too many. So I believe that at every point in time, sanctions, when applied, serves as a signal. You know, I always make the case of China. Why would they execute a former minister or former member of parliament? It's to serve as a caution that this is what is going to happen to you if you go this target. So basically what I'm trying to say is that she pleaded guilty. And as a result of her pleading guilty, those that, 1 year term sends a signal. Because there are other contents. People go on social media, even in our constituencies, on WhatsApp platforms. The kind of things they say, bro, it nowhere augurs well for our advancement as a country. Now, this country, when it comes to tolerance, I want to tell Okoe that when it comes to tolerance, we've really done well as a country. You know, there's this indices, I think, which were Reporters Without Boundaries. In 2024, I think our position was somewhere 51st or so. Yes, we've made about 11 advancements forward. 11 advancements forward. And that's what we should celebrate it. What basically I want to say is that this comment from the lady should be condemned in full force. Should not be tolerated because it is not the way for us to go as a country. And I, Kofi Akunoko, when it comes to the rule of law, a decision by the court has been made. If you have an issue, go and appeal. Okay. And that is why there is room for appeal. But we can't sit here and try to bring in NDC, MPP. I believe in other countries, this thing wouldn't have been discussed. It must not be discussed. It must be condemned fully. Because precedents, setting bad precedent is what we must not do as a country. Right. So it sends a signal. Whether you are MPP or NDC, the comments you make today will be held against you. And I always say that, bro, social media doesn't forget. Social media never forgets. So we must condemn it. It was wrong. It was cruel. And, I mean, unacceptable. That is what I should say. So, my brother, I know you to be a good man. This comment, let's not try to bring in NDC.
You know,
it was careless in all forms.
Right. You know, to be doc, as a dog, honorable, to be fair to Koboy, he may not have directly condemned it.
Yes. But he should have. I mean, first then.
Yeah, no, please hold on. But that itself depends on semantics. Because what I heard him say was that what she did was wrong. You know, he didn't mince words about that at all. But he then goes ahead for me, and I think that's the matter in issue, is whether the sanction regime, i.e. how we intend to deal with people who make those kinds of, you know, despicable, reckless, and unacceptable comments, is to necessarily put them in jail. I think for me that's the bone of contention. You know, you know, for me that's the matter in issue. Now the second issue has to do with the claim that Dr. Okoe makes about the circumstances surrounding how Camilla eventually said, I have done something wrong, I'm guilty. You know,
which I doubt.
If indeed, what Dr. Okoe said, I've known Dr. Okoe for a very long time. I really don't have any basis to doubt him, honestly, because everybody who knows his kind of politics, he would want to say things based on some research or some confirmation, you know. And so I would want to proceed on the assumption that what he's saying is true. And I'm saying that then, honorable, becomes a very, very, very serious matter. What I find strange, though, is that I have seen videos of the lawyer for Camilla, where he was addressing the press and expressing his own reaction to the judgment or the ruling or the decision by the court. And in that interaction with the media that I saw, of course, I don't have the full benefit of the full tape, but the ones that I saw, I didn't hear the lawyer raise those issues as being a perversion of justice.
I'm here. Let me address them.
Oh, no, Joe.
Yeah, I'll address it quickly.
Okay.
Lawyers, by their training, when the judge gives a ruling, their training is that you have to measure it.
In what you say.
Exactly. Now, the judge proceeded to give his judgment based on the confession made by the lady.
Yes.
And the events that application of the false news law.
Yes.
So the lawyer for the Camilla, in speaking, said that, what the proceeding was that based on the confession, the judge was about to use that to convict her. And he pleaded for mercy. Because when you're a lawyer and the judge has told you that I'm about to convict, because as we speak, the plea is not a not guilty plea, it's a guilty plea.
Yes.
Every lawyer, once the plea that is on the table is guilty, what you seek is mitigation of the sentence. But my point is that there were efforts to change the plea. It was resisted. That's one. Number two, I said, look, I'm daring you. I know what I'm saying. Ghana police will not have the courage to come and tell you that what Okoe is saying is false. Do you know why? Because it must come with a video showing how they procured that kind of conviction. They can't do it. No, I'm saying it. Me, I don't blame the police hierarchy. The constitution we have, when we started our democracy, it was to keep the state orderly. We've come far. We should now move from being orderly to transforming the society. So that we don't have a police boss who gets upset when his master. If I were the IGP, I can psychologically feel the same. When the president has done me the honor of being the head of the police, if you talk about him and it's not nice, I might frown at you. It's a psychological order. Number two, I want Honorable to get this. Look, nobody here has said that don't sanction reckless speech. We should be clear. What we are saying is that, Honorable, what they are saying that in all advanced, you can decide to mention China and the rest. In all advanced communities, they don't put people in jail for what they say, but they use other remedies. Tomorrow, Honorable keeps on mentioning discipline. With all due respect to him.
Before you comment on the matter of discipline, I'll beg you. Yeah. We have to take a break now because it's actually time. I beg you. Then when I come back, you talk about
hydration break.
Yes. This one is on hydration break. This one will be money break. All right. Even the hydration break, I'm suspicious. I think it's still money break. Anyway, stay with us. This Good Morning Ghana.
Because I'm George, someone catching another because you're chilling too. Seriously. Because someone catching another because you're chilling too. I don't know that's what the number of cancer and food paying for because Okache another cash and he's still doing it. So what they say, ain't you know, say or yeah no maba no more then you much ekwana me afa. Ya be ye wi ni ewia ya san so yemu ni atenase because ya shaky and settle down. And that is why you should go. Yeah, in situation say why ye me so me ba be yo. And until another ka say yen jama no nko. And no jama no kwa. But when they came, omo ye they are still doing it. And I mean, this young lady, how old is she? This girl there is not up to 30 years. She's in her early 20s. Sabi, make her children is older than her. And so I wouldn't be happy to see any of my children in there. I'm not sure the president will send a bat to say we at ourselves.
PP Chair Hopeful, he's also with us. And also Kofi Nokoe, he's MP for the Evaluate. Jomoro Ajira constituency, such a fantastic gentleman. He's with us this morning. All right, so, and let me just, so, Okoe, you were talking about discipline. That was where I had to interrupt you, yes. Mm-hmm.
The discipline that develops countries,
okay,
with all due respect, is not necessarily discipline in what you say, but discipline in obeying the laws, in enforcing the rules. All these are our flag things. We've all accepted that people misbehave. We don't have the courage to make sure they are dealt with.
Right.
You know, so discipline in that aspect. Discipline in terms of people saying what is what's the word? Is correct.
Okay.
That one, you know, the human nature, like I said, and Honorable say, oh, you should condemn. Once I tell you reckless speech must be dealt with, but not in jail, it means I'm saying use other means. You know, and more, we are human beings. Sometimes the kind of capacity you need to speak well, someone doesn't have. But because it's a free society, the fellow also speaks some. In fact, even we who have gone to school, there are some brains when you meet, they can show you that you are speaking nonsense. I remember, let me say it jokingly, I was, when I started medical school in Tech some years ago, I was caught off guard by one lecturer. He asked me a question, and I was not paying attention. So I didn't understand the question. And the man said, go ahead and answer. And then I started speaking English. Roamed with the English, but spoke no sense. And the man looked at me and said, you are one of the reasons why I thank my mom for taking me to a good school.
Right.
You spoke English, but didn't speak any sense. So even the educated, there are occasions when you speak rubbish. You know, so I don't want us to, you know, and there is a temptation to cite countries like China. I don't want to go in there, but there are a lot of Chinese, when they make money, they want to stay in America. Why? Because that's where there's freedom. And remember that freedom and justice is what Kwame Nkrumah, the founding father, gave us. So nobody would say, let's tolerate and encourage reckless speech. But I like what Kweku Azar wrote. He said something. He said, trying to jail someone who speaks, let's grant it, recklessly, is like trying to kill a mosquito to stop malaria.
Yeah.
It's not the killing of the mosquito that will stop the malaria cases. It is dealing with the places that breed mosquitoes. So there's been a culture in Ghana for some time now where when you say you go hard at people, you become popular in your party or in your area and get followers. So you know that, Honorable, there are some people now, they are popular on TikTok because they can really go hard at some of us. And those people are getting fuel and currency and money. Akweko Azai said that let's find ways to discourage that part of behavior. In fact, both MPP and DC, some people get appointments on our side because they have very sharp tongue. So Akweko Azai is saying that these are the things we must look at instead of, with all due respect, picking a lady. And more, women are a special group, whether I like it or not. All the things the lady went through. Forgive me if I was a little emotional. If it had been a guy, maybe I'll not be like that. But it's not easy. A mother of 3 with 10 police after her. Moro. This is when they tell you it's not easy when the state comes at you. Right. It's not easy. Yeah.
Okay. Honorable, should she have already seen some write-ups and by the likes of Franklin Kujo and Suleiman Abrahima and Manasseh Azuri, who are all pleading with the president to pardon her, and
it's like a father who decides to stab the children, and then later the friends go like, "Oh, we beg you, then you give back the food."
No, it cannot be the case because this is a court of judicial. It's no way close. Bro, I believe that, like I said,
is it a good call?
Yes. Let's see how it goes, but I mean, let me also say that, you know, in all the discussions, in all we've said so far, we cannot deny the fact that freedom of expression comes with responsibility.
Right.
You know, so every Ghanaian at every point must know that the comment you are about to make, when you are called to account or take responsibility, can you do that? You know, like I said, that is very crucial. And I also maintain that.
Okay, forgive me. You know what came to mind?
Yes.
There was a senior politician who made comments when he became a minister and he was asked in parliament. Did he say all this? He said they were all what? Political talk.
And the accused person, my brother, was not convicted for expressing a political opinion. She's in hot troubles for the kind of content she
okay.
Know? And that is what I'm trying to say, that we must not encourage it.
Okay.
We must in no way encourage it. And the court followed due process.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, you're a student of law.
But you know the courts can be criticized.
Is that yes? But what I'm trying to say, they follow due process. Okay. You know, so in all,
right.
You know, I know there are others out there who've made harsher comments and others, but I think I agree with Okoe.
Okay.
And when he says that we get into a point where people feel that the louder you are, that's when you're recognized. Okay. And that is why I'm saying that the Ministry of Communication and others must take the opportunity to create content also on those social medias, content that are able to preach patriotism and discipline and others. We cannot leave it as a vacuum for individuals just to take control, which is so dangerous for us because 90% of our youth spend at least 3 hours on TikTok every day. It is an opportunity for us in our effort to instill discipline, patriotism, and others. And that's what we should do.
Let me bring in our viewers. Very interesting thoughts have been expressed or have been shared on this topic, and I've gotten so many messages. Now remember that the WhatsApp line, it's 055-863-9114. So 055-863-9114. That's the WhatsApp line. Now, so Mansa Musa, you know, he's a journalist based in the UK. He's the host of a show on Voice of London. Now, this is his thoughts that he shared on this matter. He's watching us all the way from the UK, and he says that what that woman who has been jailed has done is called vile speech. Vile speech on social media is punishable anywhere on the planet, including jail term. And then he continues to say that vile publication on social media or newsprint or on mainstream video will land you in jail. It is taken very seriously indeed. We should never forget what brought about Rwanda massacres. We may say that 1 year is too draconian, but to suggest these issues be taken lightly is way out of the mark. And please stop putting pressure on the president. Anyone falls foul of the law, and same Ghanaians who advocate for fair and firm justice system go pleading for leniency. What exactly do we want? What exactly do we want? Please leave the president out of this. Thank you. That's coming from Mansa Musa. Samuel Brian Boabeng is back. Now he says that Moro, President Mahama is the most intolerant leader Ghana has had in the Fourth Republic. Beneath the facade of a seemingly innocent appearance lies a dangerous and vindictive leader who tolerates no dissent. I do not support the despicable behavior of some of these TikTokers, but the president and his government cannot wash their hands off. They enabled it, benefited from it, and are now incarcerating people over the very culture they helped create. This un-Ghanaian behavior has no place in our democracy. After the backlash over the incarceration of the poor TikToker, President Mahama may well pardon her, giving his supporters another opportunity to portray him as a compassionate leader and the best president in Ghana's history. This government is more interested in PR and optics than in addressing the immediate and collective aspirations of the citizenry. Samuel Brian Boabeng. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm. Alhaji, assalamu alaikum. He says that it is important we set the record straight. The Ghana police did not wake up one day and move in to arrest the lady. According to the lady herself, she wakes up one morning to receive a phone call from a police lady inviting her to the police headquarters. And according to her, she will not go today and she will not go tomorrow until the political party she belongs to tell her to go. Now, the evidence is out there in public. She came out the second time on social media to tell the public that she has been invited again, but she wants to tell the Ghanaian or the Ghana police that she would not come. And then she went further to say in the video that where she is now, nobody can locate her. So it was after all the attempts that the Ghana police decided to move in to pick her. Is Okoe aware that Ms. Bell has also sued her for defamation? Moro, no lawyer came to the police. The first day in the court, it was only the second day that a lawyer appears. They even praised the judge for the 1 sentence that was slapped on her, 1 year sentence that was slapped on his client. Because the lady was supposed to go in for 3 years. To me, she deserves a sentence and it should have been more. Hardy from Pig Farm, he says that, good morning, brother. What is Dr. Okoe afraid of? Doctor should know that Mr. Victor Solomon was arrested at the airport when he arrived in Ghana. We were in this country even when state agencies swapped on a church and arrested lawyer Chachuchi Kata. The MPP should ask themselves whether their reactions are driven by genuine concern for justice or by political loyalty. The rule of law loses its meaning the moment we begin to demand exceptions for those within our own political, social, and our ideological circles. Patriotism is not demonstrated by shielding individuals from lawful investigations simply because they belong to our preferred political traditions. True patriotism is demonstrated by defending strong institutions, respecting constitutional processes, and allowing justice to prevail without fear, favor, or affection. And he continues to say, bring back Zoom Lion. Guy G says that the problem we have in this country is that we have allowed politics to ruin our moral, ethic, and cultural values. I don't think any one of us would be happy if the invective held on the President Akufo-Addo or President Mahama is heaped on our parents. Any of the sentences, anyway, the 1 year sentence was too harsh. It doesn't speak well of John Mahama's government. Such a flippant remark, whether attention or for political reason, needs to be ignored and not given such massive judicial attention. It creates an environment and a precedent that perpetuates fear and its attendant culture of silence. It's distasteful. Imagine that happened under Akufo-Addo. Guy G from Cantonments. Peter T from Shukura says, good morning. My name is Peter T from Shukura. In our quest to win trust and confidence in our sector development, we need to maintain some level of status quo that can establish the need of ensuring accountability and prudent economic leverage of sustainability of all administrative machineries under all successive governments. You can make it simple, Peter T. This one, I don't understand his English. And it says that injustice and the corruption that has engulfed the various sectors, especially during the term of the immediate past government, reference to MPP Bamia administration must be investigated and those found guilty to be prosecuted. Alfred Kojo Tredo says, good morning, Moro, and to your cherished viewers. Now, what the woman did on TikTok was absolutely unacceptable, and we agree with that. This is not an NDC MPP affair. There is nowhere in this world where you can insult the President of the Republic and go scot-free. The law must work no matter who you are. Alfred Kuto-Treadles, Deputy National Organizer, aspirant of the NDC. Now, this one here is... okay, so Mr. Kwame Sapong of the... Okay, Mr. Kwame Sapong Asedu of the CDD, Center for Democratic Development. Well, good morning. Now, were we not in the same secondary schools and universities? At those points, we're not friends? You know, well, at those points, were we not friends? Did we become enemies the minute some joined political parties? The point is, even if we were all in the same political party, it would foster groupthink and not augur well for this country. Dr. Okoe and I, even in disagreement of certain points, have communicated in private on matters of health. He is one of the finest brains I have come across. How people will conceive that after having a full professional and political career, he won't have friends across all sectors of our society is mind-boggling. We are very special people, and I agree with you. Indeed, we are. Now, Prince Henry from Kofi, he is aspiring to become the Eastern Regional Communications Officer of the NDC. Fantastic chap. So the MPP in power was arrogant and still arrogant in opposition. Should the MP oppose everything in this country? Being opposition party comes with some responsibilities, and the MPP must know that it is not everything that they must oppose. Unless the MPP is afraid that tribunal will expose them because they caused this country pains by stealing our taxpayers' money when they were in power. You're already talking about tribunals. Hey, Prince. Anyway, Musa Abatwa in Asawasi says, I support holding people accountable for making threats or spreading. I support holding people accountable. Okay, for spreading defamatory falsehood against the president or any public official. Freedom of expression is important, but it does not protect threats, incitement, or false and damaging statements. We should encourage respectful public discourse and allow the law to deal with anyone who crosses those legal boundaries, while also protecting the right to legitimate criticism. Best wishes to Dr. Amobafu, aspiring National Vice Chairman of the NDC. Mystic Wonder Avuko, inside in Sawamba Dioji, says, good morning. Free speech counts as responsibility. So those of you who think that they can insult, the more hero they become, must rethink. The more you attack people verbally and physically, the more popular you become in the MPP, and this has been their modus operandi. Never again to this nepotistic nation records. My regards, Honorable Mark Tete, the Greater Accra Regional Chairman, hopeful for the NDC. I'll take the last two and then we can continue with our conversation. Now, this one is a retired citizen of this country, Mr. James Azuma. He's a retired soldier. He said Dr. Okoe should be schooled that the initial caution statement, Miranda law, is not a plea. Pleas are only taken in court before a trial judge. I'm not sure if you were speaking the same language, big man. I don't know, but okay. Now, Abdul Kudu says that in this country, we cheered Kevin Taylor, but we jailed Camilla. Interesting country. Okay. Reverend Samuel J. Deborah is for the PNC. He said, good morning, Moro, in your panel. Moro, Dr. Okoe is one of the young men in politics who gave me hope for a bright future for Ghana. However, he shattered my hope when he said Dr. Bamia is the only hope of human resources that Ghana has in the next 20 years. It's an expression he holds. Don't take that away from him. I mean, the way you see Bamia cannot be the same way he sees him.
Obviously.
He says, that day my confidence was shattered because adding 20 years to my years or his years before I see people like him taking up the mantle was a big worry. I like Okoe because he would never insult anyone and he speaks very nicely. Yeah. But he has allowed partisan politics to override his good sense of judgment. Most people appreciate him, and he must do well to stand up for the nation or at any given time. Moro, Ghana is not moving forward because of the disrespect of rules and regulations that restrict citizens from misbehaving. Let us all build a country that works for all citizens. Thank you, and stay blessed. Okoe, you're in trouble. When you stay neutral problem, when you bash the problem, Ghana. All right, so this one, let me go to the our official WhatsApp lineup. I think there are a couple of messages there that I'd want to look at briefly before we continue with our conversation. All right. So I'll just take four. Okay. So this one here says that. Okay. It's very strange anytime an MP person is arrested, the MP mob go to protest on his behalf. Oh, okay. Okay, so, Ghana is more important than any political party. Ghana first, Nilante Okunka from UK. Now, why are these hypocrites complaining about the arrest of one of their members at the airport? Was it wrong? Okay, so I guess that these are old... Yes, these were sent. Must have been. All right. So Neil Lante says that when the police took Bongo ideas for the same crimes, did the police inform anyone? That's how both regimes have handled issues. If it's wrong on the NDC, it's equally wrong on the NPP. All right. So yes, Papa BCU says that good morning. Due to the jailing, Papa BCU, good morning. Long time. Oh boy. Santa. Good morning. Due to the jailing of Kamil Al-Hassan, going forward, there will be sanity in our politicking in terms of how majority of us communicate on air, and that can equally give some clarity of truthfulness in choosing our future leaders. On the flip side, the tribunal angle is into strengthening our judicial system and promoting justice delivery on a faster note. No wonder the MP guys fearing most of their corrupt ones will soon have a change in their sleeping zone, hence against the tribunal angle from comfort zone to sadness. Papa Bisu Spin text Accra. Mr. Kofi Nyantechi, who used to be the former Bodile. Mr. Kofi Nyantechi, yes, he's such a fine man, a fine gentleman. He says that, good morning guys, and I'm really enjoying the show. He says, I would like to ask if Kamil Al-Hassan would have survived if she had gone to a village and insulted the chief.
Exactly. Good question.
That's a very interesting. Yes. That's a very, very interesting question. All right. Tunisian MP jailed 8 months for mocking President Kais Saied in social media posts. Someone just sent this to me and it says, please show this to Boye and ask him if this is right. Ghana is indeed blessed. Ali Ibrahim from Shukra says that Assalamu alaikum Alhaji Umar wa alaikum salam, brother. How are you? He said it's important we condemn the type of careless utterances on social media. This will bring sanity on our social media. All right, I guess that we can move on into so totally related to this is that yesterday I saw some videos of some. I cannot independently confirm if the NPP people, but of course, judging from the commentary that those persons were making and how they were saying that when we were in power, so perhaps I can on those bases see that the NPP people and they're saying that look, if you're going to be jailing us in Ghana for the kinds of things that we said, then now we're going to stop talking in Ghana. We're going to travel abroad and go and saw the president and threaten the president from abroad.
And I see people
yes, and I'm saying
traveling, staying out before they're able to say things.
And I'm like, well, Charlie, but why are we headed with all of this?
And you see, Omoro, something has happened today.
Yes.
When we are true to ourselves, we're able to solve our problems. This culture of people going hard and saying things that don't exist.
Nasty things about leaders.
Started by some people.
Right.
They favored some political traditions a lot. Let's be true to ourselves. There's a part when you travel.
I thought you said you were not going to travel that part.
Okay,
and that is why we decided not to go back.
Yeah.
But
There
was this indices I wanted to bring on board. That is according to the Reporters Without Borders. Okay. And we must commend this government when it comes to tolerance. Okay. According to the Reporters Without Borders, Press Freedom Index, in May 2024, we were 62nd. 62nd. But as at now, May 2026, we're 39th. So it's so Okoe. This is an international observation. See, this is an international observation. So
Kamala's mother says hi. She's watching.
Oh, but
he's not impressed with the
she's not even happy herself because she has come to understand the context of what her daughter said, which is so condemnable.
Is Kojo Ponkroma one of the finest broadcasters we've had in this country, an MP for Fwasa Erebi, also a former information minister and a former works and housing minister, also a former deputy information minister. Is he your friend?
Yes, he's he's the ranking of the committee.
On what?
Yes.
On communication?
Development.
On what? On
Economy and Development
and economy,
Committee.
yeah, that's true.
He's the ranking.
Okay.
And I'm the vice chairman.
Okay.
So he's a brother.
All right.
Yes.
So he has his own theory explaining what he believes is an attempt by the state or by the government to clamp down on free speech. He has a very interesting theory. I want you to listen, and then I'll pick your thoughts on that. Let's watch Kojo Nkrumah. Yes.
Yes, so my catch say next week. Ombechi ye MP baako. Because ye kasadodo.
Oma bɔ mama ne sɛ
Oma na say nyina ye wonam for on the other side. Ye wonam for system.
and obi anim sɛ we ana we
Ye de ye nim. Esi afrɛ me. Because om say ye kasadodo. Aden ye aban hu dede say because om pese obi abekasa. Na ma menka o studio na meka kyerɛ say aban we opese oka obi a kasa bo ahye ne yam. Was starting with Chief Justice. Or the akofa MPs so in team for Jomo ni ade or chichireba or the aba central force so ni ade afi ordinary members of the society or chichireba because of agenda bi we chira or person e bedru ho no na be me bia ni kromo to me kasa into or chichireba and they say you say young lady bi okoke kan nsem bia e bia se film kakra wa TikTok you say 1 year amano 1 year you say okodu court kra no ni lawyer and now lawyer dimika be gina na chi say obejina ha my lord first day no oni lawyer nti ono ade amukeka no nti ase ti ene me lawyer ma ba nti yen starting foforo ni taking the plea foforo judge ni se ontie
but critics wo fie no mu tie ya no mu hwe na omeka sɛ state institutions na ye na adwuma na den ye de ahya NDC aban
enye state institutions bia na ye o madwuma because so far you kwa nipa otewo no or state institution obia nim no ye political actor ban we buy no appointee no kotena ho abra na mami tiwa ye police officer e wo ho no what is say na we BC we are a political actor e na ye dina kotena until say you ko yes na ma na we enye state institution na ye na adwuma enye state institution na ye na adwuma and sana secondly e to be kra police for CID for say answer no be na bi no utietie nkomo a NDC mpanimfo AD the omo church or social media ne keka ona utumi directly say omo operate hwe abronye die say ye na ye ne lawyers hwe dia ekoso utieti nkomo a NDC mpanimfo AD openly on TV ne radio ne ade a ho na akwa da ne say ade ne state institution adwuma obvious omo weaponize law enforcement agencies no omo use as weapon because some person omo ka obia kasabo ahye ne yam na say mo ma kan say one because of agenda bia omode ba pese sa atan ne beso na be bia ni
agenda be na omode ba woni ma Ghana for
obvious ya kan be 2-3 times na Ghana for na say you mama ka che mo say mo wa we free nti to be asem yetumi ka che mo direct but mo re be fi omo work towards a third term agenda for Yura John Dramani Mahama
just start to come for no atum
nti ye ka obia no atum so that by the time wa omo be chichiri be wie ebeye nyankoma de on person ye ni na awie no na be me bia ni kromo kasa ye. That's what they are working towards, and that is one of the reasons for which they are silencing all dissenting voices in this republic.
But constitution emma ho kwan so betimi akosa term no
constitution no that's a constitution ya wona interpret one interpret Supreme Court na interpret sabre ya me no kasa omo de 3 applications across Supreme Court 3 say Supreme Court enchire mu say obetumi akota term Fantifo be bisa say one tell one na the won blow. Enti ade no omo chechireba and for it to get there no I will say a silence all dissenting voices in this republic. And this will be a campaign once and bonny. Yeah, come back to those days of the culture of silence where ukasa wi a unim se obedu fie na unnu fie. Na the enti ayen still ye kasa ne say so utifie na fu se mfa wo ho a.
Honorable.
I mean, Kojo, like I said, he's a ranking member on the Committee of Economy and Development.
Okay.
And he's one of the finest, even MPs that we respect so much in Parliament. But I think he's losing it gradually.
Oh, how?
Yes, Kojo has been an objective person when it comes to even his conduct. But for him to describe what this Kamala Alassane said as something small, Bibi Kakradie, it is so unfortunate. I want to believe that if these comments were directed even at him, Kojo, he wouldn't have been saying that. If it was directed at his chief, his uncle, his father, not to talk more of the president. It's so sad. And now Kojo, through talking, I always say that, see, when you're a fine gentleman with a future, you are careful on your comments that you make because social media doesn't forget. Kojo is telling us that he's now a pillar. He subscribes to the conduct of Abronya and the rest. I'm saddened by this comment of this interview of his. It mustn't be. Like I said, he ought to have condemned it from start and maybe mention other comments to it. But this is not a little issue. The first gentleman of the land. Oh my goodness. See, I say that this democracy of ours, we must defend it at all costs. If these comments, like I said, were directed at you, Kojo, would you have been speaking the way you are speaking? It's unfortunate. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to say more to this comment, but I think I'm sad for him.
He connects the happenings to Carmela, to a certain attempt, a subtle attempt to gag free speech, because there's a third-term agenda. You don't want people to talk about the third-term agenda, and that's why you are. You are discouraging people from talking.
No, I think that I understand them now, and I think that is why it's affecting their posturing even in Parliament. His Excellency has said that from his own mouth that he's not interested. I mean, why would it be such a fine reputation that is built?
Right.
So why would he say that? So see, the institutions of state are working. I always say that we must not be in their ways,
right.
And that is why I'm surprised to see Kojo and the minority always ganging up to go to Okoe and others when state institutions must work. So it's unfortunate for him. But this is no little issue. Okoe, this is no little issue.
Honorable says,
no, Okoe, you done well. More before you come in. Okoe, before you come in. You've done well. See, you've not played the content of the audio, of the video, and you've done well. Because if you should, people who've not seen the video would have actually understand what we're discussing. And you've done well. And this is what we should do. We should condemn it and not even give space for it to even go out there for more people to hear it. And Okoe, before you comment, condemn it before you proceed.
Do you know why in law there's a whole area of studies referred to as administrative law?
Right.
Its essence is to check the use of executive power. Do you know why? Those who establish this democracy we practice know of the dangers in it. That bodies that act on behalf of the executive, including the police and all that, can be excessive in their processes and procedures. So administrative law even allows for judicial review, where when a decision is taken by an agency, it is heard before a court. And sometimes there's certiorari, they quash your decision. So if you're a Democrat, you don't have to feel jittery when you hear another Democrat criticizing a state institution. I am one of the first people to look for things for the police. I love them. But I'll be doing them disservice, and everybody disservice, if they take some actions that can injure all of us, and I keep quiet. So, Honorable, I'm not in any way trying to hamper or stop the work of any state agency. In fact, we are obligated as Democrats to look at their processes and procedures and make comment. If they want my brother to answer questions, assuming MPP is in power, why should they go to his house at 3 a.m. when the children are asleep? If they could walk to him at 8 o'clock in the morning.
You might not understand the intelligence at that point.
No,
there might be intelligence, there might be...
You know what? They say in law, don't let agencies, some agencies should not act mystical. Okay, look, I read the police that they said, following an intelligence-led operation, you are going to catch a TikToker and you go through an intelligence-led. Then what would you do if he's an armed robber or a gang leader? All these are jargons. All these are jargons used.
You know what happened in Rwanda, right? I mean, you know what happened in Rwanda.
Following an intense intelligence-led operation, a TikToker was arrested. What do you mean? Come on.
Don't downplay comments. Search.
Bro, in conclusion, all of us should agree that if people talk recklessly,
I like that,
and the law doesn't agree, we should deal with them. Sure. But what we are discouraging is that don't take people through criminal procedure. In fact, we are forgetting this same government is saying, why are we jailing people for stealing cassava and goat? Are you aware this government has sponsored a bill which has been passed, which now says that when you go and steal a goat, you will not go to Sawam. You will come and maybe sweep metro. If you are taking goat stealers, let me use the expression advice from in Sawam, oh Guru, why are you taking a TikToker to Sawam?
No, but you can't put it on the same scale.
Let me just read about 4 messages. Then, if there's time, of course, if Bright will grant us some small time.
We have to talk about the tribunal.
I know.
I know you're in support of it. Because of the backlog of cases. You're still not law.
Open more court so that you can clear them, not tribunal.
Sanitation, all right. Okay, so Dr. Okoe, so this one is from Sir Obama from Pokwase. Dr. Okoe, the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the MPP, is waiting. Couldn't have articulated the sentiments of dissenting minds out there any better. Now, the level of intolerance under this government is mind-boggling. Criminalizing free speech is sending us back to the days of culture of silence. NPP folks should remain resolute and never plead guilty to any criminal charges should they be arrested for their commentary on national issues. Let the prosecution discharge that Herculean burden. The onus lies on them, not you, the accused. Never trust any judge because some of them can be very irrational, just as we witnessed yesterday. Peter Saki says that good morning, Moro, to you and Okoe and Kofi Aku, MP. I think this Camilla girl, well, she's 43, not a girl. She's Camilla woman, you know. Is just seeking fame and some money support, donations from the MPP financiers. A right-thinking individual from a good home will not be behaving like this. Will not behave like this and do what she did. Pete Pokwase Ridge. That's where he's sending us the message from. And then this one it says, tell Dr. Okoe, we no longer say gang leader, but gangalia. That's from Vanessa. Gang leader, yeah, you know, abbreviation. Yeah. Anyway, so Reverend Samuel J is back from the PS. He says, I totally disagree with Kojo Nkrumah. Mahama as president will never step so low. He respects human rights and everything that's not a very nationalistic person. To be part of a good morning, my brother, nationalistic and open-minded, certainly Kojo knows something that we don't know. But if they're offenders, then a law must take its course. Thank you. All right, so this third agenda, we'll find time and discuss it. Not today. Today we will not use just...
there's nothing like that.
If Bright grants us some few minutes, we'll look at it. But, you know, we have we always spend some 5 minutes on our show every day. We are unashamedly asking and crusading and advocating that Zoom Lion be given back his contract to clean the cities. So we are not ashamed. We are happy. We think that the decision to take that contract or that business away from them has hurt us a bit, and we need to give it back to them. So, Bright, can we spend just 5 minutes? My guests want to just have a few minutes on the tribunal discussion, and then after that we'll give another 5 minutes to talk about sanitation. Before, so in a nutshell, what exactly is your issue with the tribunal? Now, just a second, you know, if you look at the papers today, the TUC is against it.
Oh, TUC.
Yes, they're asking the government to stop it. I'm just going to read a paragraph, and then I'll take just briefly what your thoughts are.
I'm not PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.